Okay, this was Sunday afternoon, and
Correct.
Monday, I heard some people say that they were followed during the convention. Were you followed?
Um, I was. The short answer, yeah, I was. On Monday, when we went to the convention, we were given assigned seats, and we just assumed that it was to keep some of us separate. We didn't notice assigned seats in any of the other delegations, but we didn't make a fuss about it until some of the other delegates just started sitting wherever they liked. It kind of stuck with us. So on Tuesday, when we went in, we decided that we would sit wherever we wanted to, and we kind of got into an argument with the county party chairman, Bernie Zadrowski, over whether other state delegations had assigned seats and whether or not anybody had to sit in their assigned seats. And that's when I first started noticing a lot of security. You have guys in red hats that were there to kind of coordinate things. Then you start seeing guys in black hats and yellow hats, and I assume all the hats mean something. When we decided to leave and go grab our guests, we get a little lost. You know, it's a big arena, and every time I would turn around, change direction, go back, I would notice the same faces over and over again. I kind of pointed it out to other people that I was with, and we started to realize that we were being followed. And we started playing games with them. We'd split up and watch them call somebody on the radio to follow us around. So we spoke directly to the people that were following us. I don't think they knew why they were following us. They just were told to do that. And for every one, two, three guys that we saw that we recognized, I'm sure there were a couple other people that were in plain clothes that we didn't see following us. But yeah, we were followed from basically the time that we would sit with the delegation until the time we would leave. Wow.
Okay. Were you followed outside the convention area into the city any at all?
Not that I noticed. I'm not that observant, I guess, and kind of keep to myself when I'm in the vehicle. So if we were followed anywhere in Minnesota, I wouldn't have noticed it. I wouldn't have cared anyway. I'm not up to any. I was only doing good things there. So if anybody wanted to follow me, they'd have a boring day.
And so as far as you could tell, you were followed only in the convention areas.
That's the only place I was paying attention.
Yeah.
If honestly, I might not have even noticed it in the convention center. It was just so obvious when like when you turn around and you start to notice people. You go, did I go to high school with that guy? No, he was just following me around the corner. It starts to kind of stand out. So they weren't trying to be discreet about it.
Now, I understand that the federal government gave about $50 million to the city for security at the convention. And it may be that some of that money went in to pay the people that were following you. If so, that would seem to me a bit of misuse of federal money, because how do you feel about that?
I'm not sure how they spent the money. If they felt like I was a threat and they had to follow me, that's fine. I mean, I hope they didn't waste too much resource on me, because I didn't carry any eggs in. I didn't have any banners rolled up in my pockets or anything like that. I was just there to be a delegate. It turns out even that was taken away from me too. But yeah, I wasn't there to do anything wrong. So I hope they didn't spend too much money on little old me.
Did you see them search or confiscate any materials of other people who were coming to the convention?
I didn't personally see that. No, I did see. I heard some reports from other delegates that some of their books and things were taken away, and a flag, but I didn't witness that myself.
Okay. Do you have anything else that you would like to tell us about your time at the convention that we haven't covered?
No. Maybe I want to go over the fact that we were informed the day of the vote by was it Nick Vanderpool, that we wouldn't be able to vote for Ron Paul, that the only options we had while we were there were to either vote for McCain or to abstain from the vote. That's pretty much when I made up my mind that I was just going to leave. It seemed like a bad situation, a lose-lose, no matter which way it went. So when put between a rock and a hard place like that, I decided that I would just leave.
Were most of the other members of the delegation, that is the party regulars, I'll call them, how did they behave toward those of you who were not really a part of their inner circle. How did they behave towards you?
Everybody was pretty nice. Everyone that I spoke to, anybody that I had to sit next to, that I was assigned to sit next to, we, had good conversations, small talk. Yeah, everybody was pretty cordial. The only people that really were just Bernie, basically. He called me an ass. I told him that none of the other delegations had assigned seats. But
how did he explain that none of the other delegations had assigned seats? Did he address that in any real way?
No, he didn't address it. He just, I guess played it like a 5-year-old. He just said, yes, they do. But we looked around. I mean, you can tell that we were the only ones. We had stickers on our seats, and there's 50 other delegations, so I can't necessarily say that none of them had assigned seats, but I can tell you that all the delegations around us, people just sat where they wanted to. And that's the way you would expect it to be. People want to sit next to people that they can speak to, that they've met before, or that they might want to speak to. I mean, you're around the Lieutenant Governor is there, Brian Krolicki. Let's, if you want to have a conversation with him, you should be able to sit next to him at some point during the convention. So assigned seating, it didn't make any logical sense, and I didn't see it in any of the delegations around ours.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before, and I've never heard of following people before at a convention either. That disturbs me more than anything else.
They needed something to do.
So we have a situation in which an arrogant state party leadership ignored the requirements of state law and the wishes of the majority of the delegates to the state convention. The only way Sue Loudon and the rest of the leadership could get their way in selecting delegates was to abruptly and without warning close the convention in the middle of elections whose results they did not like. After the elections were prevented by the state party, a small group of people, Sue Loudon's inner circle, selected the delegates to the national convention, even though state law requires that the delegates be selected by the state convention. This process was aided every step of the way by the John McCain campaign. When a few delegates not favorable to John McCain got through the selection process because of the intervention of the National Party, when a few delegates not favorable to John McCain got through the selection process because of the intervention of the contest committee of the National Party, they arrived in Minneapolis and St. Paul only to be followed by security agents of the McCain campaign. In addition to being followed, delegates had their personal belongings searched, and anything not acceptable to the McCain campaign was confiscated. This mostly happened with other delegates and not those from Nevada. Items that were confiscated included books and banners with a political message deemed not acceptable to the McCain campaign. The conventions were given millions of dollars of federal money for security purposes. It seems that this following of delegates was not a legitimate security purpose, and therefore that some of this federal money must have been diverted for political uses to ensure that one monolithic message was seen by the television audience. It seems that the McCain campaign is being run by those who have an almost Nazi-like mentality. Is this the type of man you want for president?